Let's clear something up before we start, because deli in New Jersey can mean quite a few different things. In any normal part of the country, a deli is a deli. It's a guy with some cold cuts, a fluorescent light, you're in and out. Here, deli is a catch-all we slapped on about 5 completely different food religions that have nothing to do with each other and refuse to be in the same room. There's the Italian deli where a man makes mozzarella by hand and looks at you like you owe him money. There's the Jewish deli with the pastrami stacked so high it qualifies as a public works project. There's the pork roll counter where your entire morning happens in 90 seconds. There's the hoagie shop, the sub shop, the bagel place that also somehow runs a full grill, and the fat sandwich joint that's basically a dare. And in Jersey, we call all of them the deli. We all know exactly which one we mean, and we will physically fight you over which one is best. So today we're settling it. 11 of them, the ones locals actually love, from the top of the state to the bottom. First up is the one I think is the most fascinating place on this entire list, and it's Fiore's House of Quality in Hoboken. This place opened in 1913. When it opened, a loaf of bread cost a nickel, and Hoboken was a different planet. The same family, the Amatos, have been running it for about 6 decades. They make their mozzarella by hand fresh every single day, and there's no menu on the wall. There's just knowledge you're supposed to already have. Here's how it works. You walk in, you grab your own bread off a rack by the door, you carry that bread to the counter like an offering, and you tell the man what you want. And if you don't know the local customs, you will be identified immediately as an outsider and quietly judged. It's cash only. The line runs out the door and around the corner, and the thing everyone comes for, the legendary roast beef with fresh mutts and brown gravy, is only available on Thursdays and Saturdays. That's it. 2 days. This sandwich is so good that it became a running obsession for Liz Lemon on 30 Rock. Tina Fey wrote the Thursday-Saturday special into an actual episode, and grown adults plan their week around a gravy sandwich they can only buy 40% of the time. That's a cult with a kitchen, and I mean that as the highest compliment I can give. Now we move down south, straight down to Cherry Hill for Chick's Deli. Chick's is the kind of place that if you didn't already know about it, you'd drive past it 1,000 times because it looks like a little shack somebody forgot to tear down. That's the whole charm. Inside that unassuming box is a South Jersey institution that food critics make pilgrimages to. The chicken cheese steak has been singled out by the big Philly restaurant critics as one of the best around, and they run breakfast all day, which means you can get a pork roll, egg, and cheese at basically any hour a normal person is conscious. No frills, no gimmicks, no Instagram lighting, just a shack in Cherry Hill quietly out cooking places with valet parking. This is South Jersey's whole personality in one building, and I respect it enormously. Next, we swing back up to Monmouth County for Taliercio's out of Middletown and Red Bank, and this one's a little different because Taliercio's figured out the internet. Steve Taliercio started this place in 1988. His son Eric runs it with him now. And over the years, these oversized, absolutely obscene Italian sandwiches turned them into a genuine viral sensation with over 400,000 followers watching sandwiches get built online. But here's the part that gets me. When you build a custom sandwich there, if it's good enough, the guy behind the counter goes, "Let's give this a name." And they name it. And it goes on the chalkboard. And now you're immortal in Middletown. They've got so many named sandwiches, they're out of chalkboard. And there's a bell you get to ring for free fried ravioli, which is a thing I did not know I needed until right now. It's a neighborhood deli that accidentally became a media company. And it's still at the core just an amazing Italian deli where the sandwiches are the size of a forearm. All right, quick pause. This is not a real ad. I don't have a mattress company or some app that pays me to say it changed my life. This one's for us. So here's the deal. This channel plus our socials get millions of views per month, and it's basically all Jersey people, real ones. That's the audience. That's who's watching this right now. And I know somewhere in the audience is one person who owns a business, a bar, restaurant, roofing company, a gym, a pizzeria, a body shop, whatever the hell you do. And your advertising right now, let's be honest, is a Facebook post from 2019 and a magnet on somebody's fridge. Maybe a banner outside your shop that's been sun-faded since Christie was governor. Here's a better idea. Put your business right here, in front of every Jersey person who watches these videos, gets personally attacked, and then shares it with their entire family group chat. That's the kind of reach money can't fake, and a billboard on Route 22 will never give you, because nobody's reading a billboard. They're too busy trying not to die in the merge. We're officially looking for a sponsor, a New Jersey business, front and center in every video, on the Instagram, the whole thing. You get millions of eyeballs, all local, all engaged. So if that's you, or if you know the guy I'm describing, reach out. DM us on Instagram at nj.uncovered or fill out the Google form in the description. Let's talk. Let's get your business in front of the most locked-in Jersey audience on the internet. All right, back to the video. This next part isn't about one deli, it's about two, because you physically cannot talk about the Sloppy Joe without talking about both temples. And yes, I said the Sloppy Joe, the one sandwich this state gave the world that nobody outside of here understands. Get the ground beef manwich thing out of your head right now. That is not it. That is not even in the same universe. The New Jersey Sloppy Joe is a cold, precisely engineered stack of two meats, Swiss cheese, coleslaw, and Russian dressing on thin slices of rye, and the origin story is completely unbelievable. Back in the 1930s, the mayor of Maplewood took a trip to Havana, Cuba, walked into a bar literally called Sloppy Joe's, fell in love with a sandwich there, came home, and asked the guys at Town Hall Deli in South Orange to build it for his weekly poker game. The original had cow tongue in it. So this entire New Jersey delicacy exists because one politician had a nice vacation and a gambling problem, and Town Hall is still right there in South Orange, the official birthplace, damn near 100 years old, still doing it the old way, dry brining their slaw for 3 days and buttering the bread so the dressing can't turn it to mush, with a map by the register stuck full of pins for every place in the country they've had to ship one. And then there's Millburn Deli, one town over, which will happily inform you that they're the ones who actually perfected the thing. 70 years in, Millburn builds theirs on an oval rye, drowns the slaw in a mayo. The owner literally describes as extra heavy, like heavy cream instead of skim milk, and then cuts the whole sandwich into 3 diagonal pieces so the middle one comes out a perfect triangle. And that triangle has caused real documented adults yelling at each other arguments online about whether you eat it first or save it for last. 2 delis, 2 towns, 1 sandwich, one of them refusing to put mayo in the slaw and the other one practically deep frying it in the stuff. Both absolutely certain they're the real one. Both shipping this thing across the country to homesick Jersey people who'll pay whatever it costs to eat something cold from home. We discovered a sandwich in a bar in Cuba, brought it back, served it chilled, and immediately split into warring factions over coleslaw technique. We are not well, and the sandwich is perfect. Next, we head to the shore, and this one's for the summer crowd, Bagel International in Bradley Beach. Every single Jersey Shore town has that one spot, the one where the line forms at 7 in the morning, and it's a mix of contractors before a job, families dragging kids to the beach, and one guy who very clearly has not been to sleep yet. In Bradley Beach, that's Bagel International. They've been on Main Street for over 20 years. The bagels are hand-rolled and kettle-boiled in the size of a steering wheel. And their own owner describes the place as, quote, more than just a pork roll, egg, and cheese, which is a beautiful thing to have to say about yourself because it means so many people come in and order exactly that. because that's the ritual. You're going to the beach, you stop, you get the pork roll, egg, and cheese on the giant bagel. You eat it in the car with the windows down and the sand already somehow in it. That's a Jersey Shore sacrament, and they've been running it for 2 decades. Next, we're going straight back down to Gloucester County for Pal Joey's in Sewell, and this is one of those places that only the real ones know. Pal Joey's is the deep South Jersey Italian hoagie spot, tucked in a strip mall, nothing fancy, and the Philadelphia Inquirer's restaurant critic went out of his way to call their sharp Italian one of the best hoagies around. The Chicken Giuseppe has a following of its own. This place closes at 6 on weekdays and 5 on Saturday. That's it. If you want a legendary hoagie, you'd better want it during business hours, because Pal Joey's is not staying open late for your dinner plans. Pal Joey's has a life. There's something deeply confident about a sandwich this good, made by people who fully intend to be home for their own dinner. Our next spot brings us back north to Chatham for Pascarella Brothers. And this is your breakfast heavyweight, because Pascarella's got crowned the single best Taylor ham, egg, and cheese in the entire state of New Jersey. Now that's a title because in this state, that sandwich is the closest thing we have to a flag. And of course, the second I say Taylor ham, half of you just got mad because a lot of you call it pork roll and you're prepared to die on that hill. It's the same product. It's the exact same pink disc of mystery pork that we all slice, that we all curl at the edges on purpose, that we all eat on a roll with salt, pepper, and ketchup. North Jersey says Taylor ham, South Jersey says pork roll, and the war will outlive every single one of us. Pascarella is just quietly making the best version of it while the rest of the state argues about what to call it, which is honestly the most mature response available. Next is Hoagie Haven in Princeton. Now, Princeton is a town full of the smartest people on earth, future senators, kids who did calculus in the womb, and the single most beloved institution in that entire town is a cramped little shop on Nassau Street that sells sandwiches engineered to kill you. Hoagie Haven has been there since the mid-70s, and somewhere around 2003, they looked at the grease trucks up at Rutgers and thought, we can do worse, and they were right. This is the home of the fat sandwich, and I need you to understand what that means. The fat lady is a cheesesteak, and then inside the roll with the cheesesteak, they put mozzarella sticks and French fries in the sandwich. The Sanchez, their #1 seller, is a chicken cutlet buried under mozzarella sticks, fries, and a sauce so popular they now bottle it and sell it. There's one called the Mac Daddy that's 2 bacon cheeseburgers with mac and cheese wedges inside. And they didn't even pretend to be subtle about the health implications because 2 of the actual menu names are the Body Bag and the Heart Stop. They serve between 300 and 500 of these a day. Jon Stewart called it one of his favorite restaurants. And every Princeton alum comes crawling back to it during reunions like it's a family member. It's the greatest thing in a town that has Nobel Prize winners, and that tells you everything about New Jersey you need to know. We head back down the shore for a fancy one, Joe Leone's in Point Pleasant Beach. Joe Leone's is what happens when an Italian deli decides to put on a blazer. A guy named Joseph Leone in Trona opened it in 1997 when he was 21 years old as just a little bread bakery in a strip mall on Route 35. And it has since grown into this gleaming gourmet empire where the mozzarella is handmade, the bread is baked in-house, and everything looks like it belongs in a magazine. This is where you stop before the beach to fill the cooler, which is short for spending $140 on things you'll eat in a folding chair, because the sandwiches are enormous and beautiful, and the whole place smells like a better life. Joe Leone's is the deli you take your out-of-town friends to when you want them to think you have it together. Moving on strongly, we're at Carmen's in South Jersey, and if you're from down there, you already knew this was coming. Carmen's has been around since 1966, and here's the detail that makes it. They bake their own rolls. The bakery that supplies them Del Buonos actually bought the deli. So now the rolls come straight out of the oven and basically fall directly into your sandwich. Thousands of them a day, still warm. That's the whole game with a hoagie. It lives and dies on the bread, and Carmen's just eliminated the middleman by owning the oven. The cheesesteaks are their signature. The hoagies are stacked, and the loyalty down there is borderline religious. This is the South Jersey deli people move away and still make the drive back for, and once you've had a hoagie on bread that was floured 20 minutes ago, you understand exactly why. And finally, the one that earns our final spot is Frank's Deli in Asbury Park. Frank's opened on May 1st, 1960. It's still family run, and it's open 364 days a year, no matter what, through hurricanes, through blizzards, through the decades when the rest of Asbury Park was falling apart and nobody would go anywhere near it. Frank's just kept the grill on. It's a beautiful mutt of a place. Part Italian deli, part Jewish deli, part Greek diner. The Jersey breakfast sandwich is famous, and it's the kind of spot where the cops, the contractors, the politicians, the artists, and one confused tourist are all eating at the same counter, and everybody knows the staff by name. Bruce Springsteen eats at Frank's, and he even put it in one of his music videos. In 2015, Anthony Bourdain sat down in Frank's with Southside Johnny and filmed it for his show. So the most Jersey musician of all time and the patron saint of eating like a local both looked at the entire state of New Jersey, all of it, and independently decided that the place that gets it right is a little deli in Asbury Park that's been quietly doing the same thing since 1960. If that's not the perfect note to end on, I don't know what is. So that's 11, top of the state to the bottom, mutts to pork roll to a cold sandwich, a mayor smuggled out of Cuba. I already know I left off your spot. I know. That's the entire point, because every single town in this state has the one deli that its people would take a bullet for, and there is no way to name them all. So do the thing you were already going to do. Drop your deli in the comments. Tell me exactly how disrespected you feel that it's not on here. And tag the person you always go with. This is New Jersey. The line's already out the door.